I inherited my grandmother's house after she passed. She lived here for 60 years alone. The realtors said it was a fixer-upper. What she didn't tell me is that the house has a memory, and it thinks I'm my grandmother. The house smells like her. Lavender and mothballs, and something older, something that might be loneliness. I've tried airing it out, burning candles, scrubbing every surface. The smell remains, as if the walls themselves absorbed her and refused to let go. I moved in 3 weeks ago. The will was clear. The house was mine, provided I live in it for 1 year. Grandmother's final condition. A strange request, but she was a strange woman. I barely knew her. She stopped visiting when I was 7. The first sign was the radio. I don't own a radio, but every morning I wake to music playing somewhere downstairs. Big band music, the kind my grandmother loved. When I go to investigate, it stops. Always. The source is never found. I told myself it was a neighbor's stereo, the walls thin, the acoustics playing tricks. Then the letters started appearing. Handwritten on stationery I recognized from her desk, left on the kitchen table, the nightstand, once tucked beneath my pillow. The handwriting was hers. I remember it from birthday cards long ago. The content was mundane at first. Grocery lists, reminders to call the plumber, a recipe for apple pie. But last week, the tone changed. "He's back," one read. "I thought he was gone forever, but he's back. Don't let him in." I didn't know who he was. I still don't. I searched the house then, truly searched. In the attic, beneath decades of dust, I found photographs. My grandmother young, beautiful, smiling. Beside her, a man I didn't recognize. Tall, dark-haired, with eyes that seemed to follow me even in still images. On the back of one, Richard, 1957, the year everything changed. I called my mother, asked about Richard. The line went silent for so long I thought we'd been disconnected. Then, "Where did you find that name?" "In Grandma's things. Who was he?" "He was someone she knew a long time ago. Don't go through those boxes, sweetheart. Throw them away." "Why?" "He hurt her badly, and then he disappeared. No one ever found him. The police searched for months. They thought she... Never mind, just throw the boxes away." I didn't throw them away. That night, I heard footsteps on the stairs. Heavy, deliberate, men's shoes on old wood. I lay frozen in bed, listening as they climbed. 1 step, 2 steps, a pause, then 3 more. The landing outside my door. I reached for my phone, dead battery. I reached for the lamp, no power when I flipped the switch. The footsteps resumed, crossing the landing, stopping outside my bedroom door. I heard breathing, slow, wet, as if through damaged lungs. Then a voice, low, rasping, ancient, whispered through the wood. "Margaret, I came back, Margaret, like I promised." Margaret was my grandmother's name. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The door handle turned slowly, clicking against the lock I always check before bed. "It's been so long, Margaret. Let me in." I found my voice somehow. "She's dead." Silence. So complete, I thought I'd imagined everything. Then, I know, I watched her die. "I've been waiting for you." The door handle stopped turning. The footsteps retreated, down the stairs, across the living room, into silence. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I found a new letter on the kitchen table. Just 2 words. He lies. I should leave. I know I should leave. Every instinct screams at me to pack my bags and never return. But grandmother's condition, 1 year in the house or everything goes to charity. I have nothing else. No savings, no job, no future outside these walls. So I stay. The footsteps come every night now, closer, longer. Last night he didn't stop at my door. He walked past it, down the hall, into grandmother's old room. I heard him moving around in there for hours, opening drawers, humming. This morning I found her wedding dress laid out on my bed, and a note, "Wear this tomorrow. We're finally getting married, Margaret. I've waited so long." I am sitting in my car as I write this. The engine is running. The house looms in my rearview mirror, dark windows watching me. But I can't leave. Not because of the inheritance, not because of the money, because when I looked in the mirror just now, I saw my reflection smile at me, and I didn't smile first.
I moved into my dream farmhouse 3 weeks ago, alone. Last night I heard my own voice coming from inside the walls, except it was saying things I have never spoken aloud. The first week was peaceful. That's what makes this so unbearable, the memory of peace. I bought the farmhouse for its isolation, 40 acres of nothing but winter wheat and silence. The realtor mentioned the previous owner had been deaf. I thought nothing of it at the time. Now I understand why she smiled strangely when I said I loved the quiet. It started on night 12. I was brushing my teeth when I heard it, a whisper so faint I mistook it for running pipes. But then it came again, and I recognized the cadence, the rhythm of my own speech. I turned off the faucet, listened. Nothing. I told myself the house was settling. Old farms have bones that creak. I went to bed. The next night, I heard it clearly for the first time. "Don't forget to lock the back door." My own voice, my exact inflection, coming from the wall beside my bed. I sat up in darkness, my heart performing acrobatics in my chest. The wall was solid plaster, painted white, utterly unremarkable. I pressed my ear to it and heard nothing, just the thundering of my own blood. I should have left then. I should have driven to a motel, to anywhere. But I told myself it was exhaustion, stress, the isolation playing tricks. That was my mistake. By night 16, the voice had learned new phrases, things I had only thought, never spoken. The basement door was open. I hadn't opened the basement door that day, but when I checked, it stood wide open, revealing the dark stairs descending into nothing. I slammed it shut, locked it, sat with my back against it until dawn. The voice grew bolder. "She's standing behind you." I spun around. Nothing. "Don't turn around." I turned anyway. The hallway was empty, but the mirror at the end reflected something wrong, a shadow that moved against the light, a shape that had no source in my bedroom. I stopped looking in mirrors after that. Night 21 was the longest. The voice spoke continuously for hours, a monologue of my deepest fears, my secret shames, things I had never told another living soul. It knew about the time I let my sister take the blame. It knew about the dog I hit with my car at 16 and drove away from. It knew everything. I sat in the center of my living room, knees to my chest, hands over my ears. But you can't block out a voice that lives inside your head. Except this wasn't inside. It was in the walls. By week 4, I stopped sleeping, stopped eating.
I spent my days searching for the source, tearing holes in the plaster, ripping out insulation. The landlord called, concerned. I didn't answer. Let him come. Let him see what lived here. Last night, I found it. Behind the wall in my bedroom, buried in the insulation, was a box, old, wooden, wrapped in chains I had to cut through with bolt cutters. Inside was a journal, leather-bound and mold-spotted, filled with handwriting I recognized immediately. It was mine. Pages and pages of my handwriting recording every day of my life here, including days I hadn't lived yet. The last entry was dated tomorrow. It read, "Tonight I will finally understand what I am. Tonight I will stop being afraid. Tonight I will join the voice in the walls, because the voice in the walls has always been me. I just haven't happened yet." I am sitting in the living room now, the journal in my lap. The sun is setting outside. Soon it will be dark and the voice will start again. But today, for the first time in weeks, it has been silent. I think it's waiting for me. I think tonight I will answer. I live alone in a high-rise apartment. 3 months ago, I noticed something standing in the background of every photo I took, always in the corner, always slightly closer than the last time. I'm a photographer. It's what I do. Portraits mostly, sometimes landscapes. I live alone on the 14th floor, and I've always loved the view. The city sprawls beneath me like a circuit board, all those tiny lights pretending to be stars. It started with a selfie. Just a casual shot, me in front of the window, the skyline behind me. I almost didn't post it, but something made me zoom in. In the reflection of the glass behind my shoulder, there was a shape, dark, humanoid, standing in my actual apartment, maybe 10 feet behind where I'd been standing. I turned around. Nothing there. Just my couch, my bookshelf, my empty kitchen. I laughed it off. Lens flare, reflection from outside, the mind playing tricks. The next week, I was shooting a client's engagement photos in my studio. We did the usual poses, the laughing, the fake candid moments. It wasn't until I uploaded them to my computer that I saw it again. In every single photo, in the corner of the frame, that same dark shape. It was closer this time, pressed against the wall behind my backdrop, almost touching it. My clients hadn't noticed, neither had I. I zoomed in on the shape. It had no features, no texture, just darkness in the shape of a person. But in one photo, I swear I saw the suggestion of a head tilted, watching. I started photographing my apartment obsessively, every room, every angle, and every photo showed the same thing, the shape, always present, always different in position, moving through my home when I wasn't looking. It never appeared in mirrors, never in my peripheral vision, only in photographs. I asked a friend to stay over. I didn't tell him why. That night, I set up a motion-activated camera in the living room. In the morning, we checked the footage together. The video showed us sleeping on the couch, me twitching, him snoring. At 3:17 a.m., the image flickered. For a single frame, 1/60th of a second, the shape stood between us, leaning over the couch, looking down on my friend's face. I showed him the photo. He laughed nervously, said it was a glitch, that I needed to get out more. He left early and hasn't returned my calls since. I stopped sleeping in my bedroom. I sleep in the bathroom now, with the light on, because the camera on my phone shows me what's really in the dark. Last week, I took a photo of my reflection in the mirror just to prove to myself that I was still here, still real. When I looked at the image, the shape was standing directly behind me, inches away. Its head was tilted down, as if looking at the top of mine. I didn't feel anything behind me when I took the photo. I didn't hear breathing, didn't sense presence. But in the photograph, one of its hands was raised, reaching for me. I've stopped taking photos now. I've deleted every image from my phone, my camera, my computer. But this morning, I woke up on the bathroom floor and my phone was in my hand. The camera app was open. there was a new photo in my gallery. It was taken at 4:23 a.m. while I was asleep. The angle was from the ceiling, looking down on my curled body on the tile floor. I must have been holding the phone above me in my sleep, except I wasn't. My arms were at my sides in the photo. The shape was in the frame, of course, standing in the corner of the bathroom, watching me sleep. But this time, it had something new. A face. It was mine. I work from home in a smart house, the kind with automated locks, cameras, and voice controls. Yesterday, the system alerted me that an unknown device had joined my network. The device was labeled guest bedroom camera. I don't have a guest bedroom. My house is supposed to make me feel safe. That's what I told myself when I installed the smart locks, the motion sensors, the cameras that let me see every corner from my phone. I live alone in a 4-bedroom house I can't afford because the location was perfect and the price was too good. The realtors said the previous owners had left suddenly. I should have asked why. The alert came at 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. New device connected to network. Guest bedroom camera. I frowned at my phone. I don't have a guest bedroom. The house has 4 rooms, mine, an office, a gym I never use, and a storage room full of boxes I haven't unpacked. I checked the device list. There it was, an unknown IP labeled with chilling specificity. I tapped the device, expecting an error. Instead, the camera feed opened. It showed a bedroom I had never seen. The walls were pale blue. The bed was made with white linens. Sunlight streamed through a window that shouldn't exist, illuminating a room that wasn't in my house. I stared at the screen, my mind refusing to process. I walked through my actual house, room by room, checking for any door I'd missed, any hallway that led somewhere impossible. I found nothing, just the 4 rooms I'd always had. I returned to my phone. The feed still played. In the corner of the strange bedroom, a door stood slightly ajar. Behind it, I could see darkness. I watched for an hour. Nothing moved. Nothing changed. I told myself it was a glitch, a mislabeled device from a neighbor's network bleeding into mine. I went back to work.
That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept checking the feed. At 3 a.m., something changed. The bedroom in the feed was dark now, matching the time of night, but the door in the corner, the one that had been slightly open, was now wide open. Beyond it, I could see not darkness, but a sliver of something familiar. Wallpaper. The same wallpaper as my bedroom. I sat up in bed, my phone trembling in my hands. I looked at my own bedroom door, the one leading to the hallway. It was closed. I always close it. On the feed, the camera panned slowly, by itself, until it faced the open door. Then it began to move. I watched as the camera traveled through that impossible doorway into a hallway I recognized, my hallway. The camera moved past framed photographs I had hung myself, past the bathroom door, past the stairs, until it reached my bedroom door. The feed went black for 3 seconds. When it returned, the camera was inside my room. I was on the screen, sitting up in bed, holding my phone, staring directly at the camera that was recording me from the corner of my own ceiling. I looked up. The corner was empty. But my phone pinged. A new alert. Camera guest_bedroom_camera has been renamed. New name, master bedroom camera. I unplugged everything. I turned off the Wi-Fi. I sat in darkness, holding my phone like a weapon, waiting for dawn. The sun rose. I called an electrician. I made him tear apart every wall, every ceiling, searching for a camera that wasn't there. He found nothing. He looked at me like I was insane. Last night, I turned the Wi-Fi back on. I had to. I needed to know. The device was still there, still connected, still labeled master bedroom camera. But now there was a second device, labeled kitchen camera. I checked the feed. It showed my kitchen. Empty, normal, exactly as I'd left it, but in the reflection of the microwave, I saw something that made my blood freeze. A figure standing in the doorway, watching. I turned around. My kitchen was empty, But when I looked back at the feed, the figure was closer. And on the counter, where I always leave my keys, there was something new. A note in handwriting I didn't recognize. "We left suddenly. Now you understand why." I am sitting in my car in the driveway as I write this. I haven't gone back inside. The cameras are still streaming to my phone, and I can see that the figure is no longer in the kitchen. It's in my bedroom now, waiting. I live alone. I know this because I have never married, never had roommates, never even owned a pet. But last week, I found a second toothbrush in my bathroom. Yesterday, I found a stranger's keys on my counter. Today, I found a photograph of two people at my wedding, and one of them is me. I am a creature of habit. Every morning, I wake at 6 a.m. I shower, I brush my teeth, I make coffee. I work from home, so I never have to leave. I like the routine. It keeps the edges of my mind from fraying. That's why I noticed the toothbrush. It was blue. Mine is red. It sat in the cup beside mine, bristles damp as if recently used. I stared at it for a full minute, trying to remember buying it, trying to remember anyone visiting. I don't have visitors. I don't have friends. I threw it away. The next morning, it was back. Damp. Used. I checked my locks, all secure. I checked my windows, all closed. I checked my phone for any evidence of someone entering. Nothing. I threw it away again. This time, I took out the trash immediately, walking it to the dumpster in my bathrobe at 6:15 a.m. No one saw me. No one ever sees me. That afternoon, I found keys on the kitchen counter, a ring of 3 attached to a leather fob I didn't recognize. They felt warm in my palm, like someone had just been holding them. I checked every room, closets, under the bed, the crawl space. Nothing. No one. I put the keys in my pocket and went to the hardware store. I bought new locks. I installed them myself, working until my fingers bled. That night, I slept with a knife under my pillow. The next morning, the toothbrush was back. But this time, there were 2. One blue, one green, both damp. I didn't throw them away. I sat on the bathroom floor and wept. The photograph came 3 days later. I found it on my nightstand face down. When I turned it over, the air left my lungs. It was a wedding photo, a bride in white, a groom in a tuxedo cutting a cake beneath an arch of flowers. The bride was beautiful, smiling, unfamiliar. The groom was me. Not someone who looked like me, me. Same receding hairline, same crooked smile, same small scar above my left eyebrow from falling out of a tree at age 8. I was married. I had a wedding. I had a wife. I don't remember any of it. I searched the house then, truly searched, tearing through boxes I hadn't opened in years. In the back of my closet, behind old sweaters I never wear, I found a shoebox. Inside were photographs, dozens of them. Me and the woman from the wedding, her name was Emily according to the backs of the photos, at the beach, at a restaurant, on a couch I recognized as my own. In every photo we were happy. In every photo we were together. The last photo in the box showed Emily in a hospital bed, holding a newborn baby. The baby was wrapped in a blanket with our last name embroidered on it. Emily was crying, smiling, but crying. I don't remember a baby. I don't remember a hospital. I don't remember her. I drove to the address on the back of one of the photos, a house I supposedly owned before this one. A woman answered the door, older now, gray streak in her hair, but unmistakably Emily. She looked at me and went pale. "You need to leave," she whispered. "You need to leave right now." "I don't remember," I said. "I don't remember any of it. Please, just tell me what happened." She started to cry. Behind her, I heard a child's voice call out, "Mommy, who's at the door?" Emily turned and I saw the child, a girl, maybe 7, with my eyes and her smile. The girl looked at me and her face changed. Not fear, recognition. "Daddy," she whispered. "Daddy came back." Emily slammed the door. I stood on that porch for an hour, knocking, begging. No one answered. Eventually, I went home. The toothbrushes are still in my bathroom, 3 now, red, blue, green, all damped this morning.
There's a new photograph on my nightstand. Me, Emily, and the little girl at a birthday party. The girl is blowing out candles. I'm laughing. We look like a family. I don't remember this. But in the photograph, in the background, there's a calendar on the wall. The date is next week. I am sitting in my living room now waiting. I don't know what I'm waiting for. A knock? A memory? My wife and daughter to walk through the door? The house feels different this night. Warmer, like someone else is breathing the air. I just checked my phone. There's a calendar alert I don't remember setting. It says, family dinner, 7 p.m. It's 6:58. I think I hear footsteps on the stairs. I've been a sleepwalker my whole life. To cope, I keep a video camera running in my bedroom every night. Last week, I reviewed the footage. At 3:17 a.m., I got up from bed, walked to the camera, and whispered, "I know you're watching this. Stop me before I do it again." I don't remember saying it. I don't know what it means. The camera has been my salvation. For 20 years, I've recorded my nights, cataloging the things I do while unconscious. Mostly harmless stuff, walking in circles, opening cabinets, once trying to cook eggs at 4 a.m. The footage helps me understand myself. It keeps me safe. I review it every morning with my coffee, a ritual, a reassurance. Last Tuesday was different. The footage started normally, me asleep, tangled in sheets. The digital timestamp ticked towards 3 a.m. I sipped my coffee, half watching, already bored. At 3:17, I sat up. Not the slow, confused rising of sleepwalking. This was deliberate, purposeful. My eyes were open, fixed on the camera. I swung my legs over the bed and stood, walked directly to the camera, the tiny lens mounted on my bookshelf, and leaned in until my face filled the frame. Then I spoke. "I know you're watching this." My coffee cup froze halfway to my lips. "Stop me before I do it again." The me on the screen stared into the lens with an intensity I have never felt while awake. Then I turned, walked back to bed, and slept peacefully until morning. I watched the footage 10 times, 20. I searched my memory for any dream, any fragment of that moment. Nothing, just blank darkness where those seconds should have been. What did it mean? What had I done before? I started digging. I reviewed years of footage, watching myself night after night. Most of it was boring, the usual sleepwalking routines, but patterns emerged the longer I looked. Once a month, like a clock, I would leave the house. The footage showed me dressing, not in pajamas, but in street clothes, deliberately, as if preparing for something. Then I would walk out the bedroom door, down the hall, out the front door, into the night. I would return hours later, undress, and climb back into bed. I had no memory of any of this, not a single image, not a single dream. I checked my car's odometer, mileage I couldn't account for. I checked my phone's location history, blank. I always turn it off at night to save battery. Last night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the living room with the lights on, waiting for the urge to leave. Nothing came. I watched the camera feed live on my phone, watching myself, not sleeping. Watching myself, watch myself. At 3:17 a.m., my phone pinged. Motion detected in bedroom. I looked at the screen. The bedroom was empty. I was sitting in the living room, holding my phone. The bedroom was empty. But the motion sensor had triggered. I rewound the feed, watched as at 3:17, my bedroom door opened slowly. Watched as something entered, something that moved like a person but wasn't shaped quite right. Watched as it stood beside my empty bed, waiting. It stood there for an hour, waiting for me. At 4:17, it turned and looked directly at the camera. Its face was mine, but its eyes were wrong. Too deep, too dark, too knowing. It smiled. Then it walked to my closet and stepped inside, closing the door behind it. I haven't opened that closet. I'm sitting in the living room, the sun rising outside, and I haven't moved. The closet door in my bedroom is still closed, but I can hear breathing through the wall. Slow, rhythmic, patient. My phone just pinged again. Motion detected in bedroom. I don't want to look, but the breathing is getting louder, and I think it's coming from inside the walls now, behind me.